Hi, this is Amanda Paints LLC, and here I want to show a video. I'm doing a piece of furniture that's been sitting in my studio for a long time, almost 5, 6 years, mostly being used as a working table. Um, it's a piece I wanted to do personally. It's a solid mahogany, um, kind of a buffet type piece. I don't know. I found it for free on the side of the road, and I stripped it, and I was gonna do all this hand painting and stuff on it, but I just over time I feel that it's kind of just a retro sleek piece and just needs to be beautifully stained and clear coated. So this is some stain that I have left over from a job, and it's not really enough to do the whole job. Um, and the weathered gray, which I am centering on, is a little bit too heavy pigmented for my taste, anyways, at least for this project. You can see I have a little bit on this stir stick here, and it's just a pretty solid stain. And so I'd like to thin it back, which would give me more material. So I want to show you my money saving trick um, for thinning back water-based stains. And it works really good sometimes if you have a thick stain and you want to put it through um, like an HVLP and spray your stain on. This works pretty good. And I just kind of want to share it with you. I think it's a neat trick. Over time, I've learned about milk and how milk has been made into different kinds of paints and stains, doing different projects. And you want to use skim fat-free milk, and it's important to have the fat-free milk because you don't want the fat in it. You just want the milk, and milk makes a great binder for a lot of things, especially staining wood. You can add berries to it, coffee, pigment, all kinds of things, and you can make a pretty user-friendly stain. It's pretty easy. You don't even leave lap lines. So if you're wanting to make a wood stain and just basically use anything around your house, go for that gallon of fat-free milk in your fridge. So I'm gonna take the weathered gray. I'm going to go ahead and measure everything out in ratios because I want to save as much of the stain I can in case there might be enough left over for another project. I do like the color. So I'm going to do one of each. Let's do one milk. Let's see if I can. Might have to dip this in so it doesn't run down. Oh, that's not going to work either. Well, let's hope I don't spill this all over the table. I did it. Okay, so we got all the way up to the top. One milk. And we're going to do one weathered gray for color. And we'll go ahead and stir that up. And we'll test that and see how we like it. Yeah, I've made stain out of milk using universal caltents, and that works pretty well. You can actually get a pretty good rich color. I'll try to make sure I do a video on that sometime. We'll make some homemade, earth-friendly, user-friendly wood stains. Okay, that's stirred pretty well. Let's test that on our stir stick. See what we got. Let that sit for a second before we wipe it. Sorry, I got a pretty bad cold. So we just made twice the stain, and it's really not all that much lighter. But so it's definitely working. It's doing the job. We got twice the stain. And one thing that I add the milk, because it still has that binding quality. And let me grab another stir stick. I think I'm going to add a little bit of this pre-stain conditioner. I have a little bit left. That's what General Finishes would recommend, to do the same thing we're here doing instead of the milk. But I want to be able to save that much more money, because this is a personal project, and that's what we do. So yeah, everything's old and chunky. Get the string out of there. I'm just stirring it right now off screen. And I will pour this into another Dixie cup. Again, that's let's see if we can see it. General Finishes pre-stain conditioner. So you can apply that to your wood before as itself, and it works really well. It does make the stain go on more evenly. I do find I like General Finishes stains. One thing that really stood out to me is how well it stains and hides scratches. Like you know, sometimes if you sand a really soft or hard wood and don't quite follow through with a finer sandpaper, and you get little swirlies or scratches the wrong way, this tends to hide it a little better. So we'll add our 1 Dixie cup of pre-stain conditioner, and I think that's just, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, it'll not break the product down too much. Still thin it back. But like I said, I've used that milk as the stain itself, and I find it's pretty, you can stain across a pretty big plane without getting lap marks. Anybody that's real experienced with woodwork would know how sometimes waterborne products are really difficult to use. I find General Finishes is easy, and I find the milk is easy. Let's see. I think I gotta stir this for a bit. I wish I had one of those speed videos, but we're just an old painter here. We're not a fancy video person, so you'll have to forgive me. Let's do another dot. I can see that's a little bit more translucent, and I feel like I have a lot of stain to start my project. And because we measured it out, if I run out, we'll leave it. I was at first thinking that I might add a touch of dye stain to change the color a little bit. This stuff here, light brown. But I decided not. I think I would rather. It's a little blue to me, but I think I will brand it up by adding another color, because like a layer. So let's say I stain it and then I clear coat it and then I put a glaze between, or I stain it with another stain in between. That can add more depth and character. So I think I will go about getting that too blue washed out later with that step. The light brown, I probably could add like just a teaspoon of the light brown into the pigment, and then it would change the color that way, and you could do it in one step if you wanted to go that route. Another thing that I'm really hung up, I even plan on doing some artwork this way, is you can add their dye stain to their clear coats, and you can make your own kind of like a poly shade, kind of say you do a stain matching some original piece of wood, and you look at your match that you did and you're just so close, but maybe it's not quite orange enough, or it's not quite dark or brown enough, and you just feel if you just had it a shade different, you could add a few drips in the dye stain and then brush like a translucent clear coat and get that shade difference. And that, a lot of times when I'm approached to having to make that perfect stain match, that's my trick up my sleeve, is I will use the dye stain in the clear coat if my match that I worked so hard on didn't quite come out. So but anyways, let's stain a drawer. I'm pretty excited about this piece. Let's see if we can set this up here so that we can see. It's really cold in my shop, and I didn't pick out my outfit real appropriately, so excuse my attire. Let's see if you can see that okay. Oh, you can see that just fine. Okay, so let me get some gloves on. Get a little chip brush and a rag. And we'll go ahead and stain our piece here. So this had finish on it, and it was old and fallen off. It was ugly enough that someone decided it was worth putting on the side of the road, putting a for free sign on it. I was quite taken by the fact that it was made out of mahogany, and that the wood was solid. So that meant that I could sand to my heart content and not sand through any veneer or anything like that. Let's go ahead and get the edges real careful. Maybe I'll stain the sides later or paint them like a pretty blue or something. let's just get this space. This mahogany is a hardwood, so it wasn't easy to sand. I went through a lot of sandpaper. I did follow with 220 on this. You don't have, a lot of people, especially a lot of old timers, really insist that you final sand with 220 sandpaper, but 150 is good enough. In fact, 150 can be better because that allows the wood to I don't want to wipe much more off. I'm going to get what I call a duster brush or a dryer chip brush. You can see the corners. I've been doing this a lot, and I'm just going to work that stain back and forth so that it's about the right consistency that I want it. But I think that gives that a really nice kind of washed look. And it extends that stain and thinned it back to give it a lighter color so that it would be where I would want it to be. And I think that's really quite beautiful. It's almost natural looking, but not. So I'm happy with that. But anyways, if you sand with 150 sandpaper and stain, it grabs a hold of the stain. But 220, if you sand with 220, say you're working with something that's really absorbent, like hemlock, and it may absorb the stain unevenly. If you sand with 220 on that, it will help your stain go on more even. But so occasionally I want to use 220. I think I just felt like it, doing it for some reason on this. So I'm going to stain the rest of this puppy up, and I think I'll spray a coat of clear on it, and then maybe we'll talk again about putting a glaze coat on between. This piece was dinged up, and I didn't want to spend the time filling it with wood filler and trying to sand it to perfection. So I just distressed it a little more, and so I have like some bird holes. It's not really, I don't think it goes with this wood. You'd want to do it maybe more with a mission oak, but I did it anyways because it made it easier. But I put some gashes and some bird holes, and my signature distress mark is a pipe wrench. I kind of twist it apart so that you get all the teeth, and I like to get that look. So the glazing will bring that out. We'll do that in the next video. If you want to subscribe to my channel to see that, I'd appreciate it. And I'm not paid to sell any of these products. I just love them. I've been painting for a lot of years and trialed and errored a lot of stuff, and what I use is what I like. My goal is to try to sell my artwork, and you can see I got a couple pieces back there that they're on my website now. I showed this one in the last video. I haven't come up with a title. Oh, yes, I did come up with a title. It's City Flowers. I used leftover plasters and stains and paints to make a painting. Did kind of a faux brick in the back. Used some metal lifting. It's a very, very chunky painting. But it's all recycled material. Even the dark brown is caulking from having to do some caulking, and I just do that. I kind of want to do a video on how to do this brick. It's a technique that I developed myself, and I'm pretty proud of it. So, yeah, it's pretty bright, wild painting. It changes in the light because of the metallic in it, and it's fun. I think it's definitely one of my $220 on Amanda Paints LLC.weebly.com. Thank you. Have a good day.